Really warm welcome. My name's Kevin Janks. I ran this. This is our second session. The last week for those that joined us, and I see a lot of familiar faces. So thanks so much for coming back. That's excellent. And for those that have just joining us, you haven't, well, yeah, you missed a week of meditation, but today's session is standalone in nature. So just because you didn't come last week, it doesn't mean that you won't get full benefit from this week's session. And really where I want to go with this week's session is I want to take the idea of stress and I want to reframe stress in a way that creates an empowering, a new and empowering context. And then I want to take us straight into the guided meditation. So most of the session will be inside of the guided meditation. And again, for those that missed my introduction last week, you're lucky because you kind of get it again in a different way, because I want to talk about stress and this idea of reframing stress as a concept. And I'll talk about it in the context of my own journey and particularly how I started to come to love meditation. So really, I didn't grow up meditating. As I told you all last week, I came to meditation through just being a completely stressed out wreck. And to me, everything was stress. It was like a traffic jam was stress. I was always running late. That was stress. I always had more things on my plate than I had time to do. That was stress. I had a job that just seemed to be like more demanding than I had hours in the day for. That was stress. I had a sporting, well, I mean, a very amateur sporting commitment, but I had a sporting career that I absolutely loved, which means I had to hit the gym to get in top shape to play rugby, and not being able to gym enough was stress. And everything in my life, all my relationship troubles, with my girlfriends and ex-girlfriends, all that was also stress. So in my context, everything was just stress. And I was just this stressed out wreck. And I really felt it. I was stressed out to the point of anxiety, crushing sensations in my chest. I was stressed out to the point where I was having chronic nightmares. My sleep was really, really badly affected. I was stressed out to the point where my tension headaches were so bad that I was taking about 8 painkillers every single week without fail. To go through a strip of painkillers is quite impressive. And it was just like stress. And it was really disempowering for me, because I tried the traditional solution, the way that we all approach stress in life, sort of us as a society, which is just like keep pushing through it, have more coffee through the day to get me going, sleep less, drink more whiskey at night to kind of bring me down from all the coffee that I'd had at night. Just keep going, put the blinkers on and just go. And then it just got to a point where I felt really broken by it. And I was only in my mid-20s, and I had this moment where I was like, well, I can't deal with this amount of stress in my life. And yet the context that I was living inside of was so disempowering, because in that mind, at that point in time, my mind only saw 2 options. The first option was to just keep dealing with it and keep sucking it up and keep going forward. And yes, I could keep doing that. And I was quite successful in that, because as you would have heard last week, I was successful in all areas of my life in terms of like the modern measures of success, but I just didn't feel like I could keep going. Yet in my mind, I was like, either you can just keep going, keep pushing, which was not really that desirable, or you can quit it all, quit your job, move out of the city, go to the country. And then that wasn't really that much more exciting either, because I loved my life in Sydney. I loved my friends. I loved everything that I did. I loved my work. So I was stuck in this like lose-lose situation until it hit me, and it hit me only after meditating. This is what I want to share and get across to you. Stress is not something that comes from out there and into here. I was mistaken in my thought that traffic jams are stressful, deadlines are stressful, relationship troubles are stressful, financial situations are stressful. I was mistaken in my belief to think that those things are stress. And when you look at the science behind stress, those things are not stress. Stress is your body's response. Those things, of course, are triggers for the stress response, but the response is the stress response. If you look at it, it's not stress, it's the stress response. It's the response that your body goes through when it has no other effective way of dealing with a demand or pressure. And that's exactly what I was experiencing. I was experiencing the stress response. And just understanding that, when I started doing the research into the science of what was happening, that became really empowering. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But first, I want to, in 30 seconds, touch on what is this stress response. Evolutionary speaking, the stress response is an incredible tool that we've used for a long time in order to escape danger, escape threats. So when we're faced with some kind of threat, be it real or in nowadays psychological, our body goes into this incredible response where it gears every part of our systems up for either fighting as hard as we can or running away as fast as we can, or in some cases we freeze. But the body is geared towards one of those two things, fight or flight. And the more we experience this stress response, yes, it's really life-saving in certain situations, but in other situations where the threat isn't actually real, where it's a threat to, say, my psychological sense of security and safety, and where that threat is not even real in itself, where it's just believed to be real by me, that's when we start experiencing more and more of this stress response being activated. And the more time that our body spends in that fight or flight or stress response, the worse an impact it has on all of our bodily systems. And it's no wonder when you look at across all the major diseases and disorders that we're experiencing in our society today, that you see stress as one of, if not the leading risk factor across all of it. And you only have to take something like blood pressure, for example. My blood pressure was right up at the very high end of normal as a mid-20-year-old. After cumulative years of meditating, my blood pressure sits at about 101. Which is incredibly low. And I have as many demands and pressures as I did back then, if not even more. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to see stress not as something that comes from out there, but your body's response to different triggers and demands. And all we're doing, well, it's not all we're doing, but at a very basic level, when we sit down and meditate, what we're doing is we're changing the way we're helping our body alter its response to how it deals with those demands or pressures. And a prime example is this. I used to get into a bit of road rage as a younger male. And a few weeks after starting to meditate, I realized that Sydney drivers had just gotten better. It's like someone had given every driver in Sydney a driving course in the last 3 weeks. And I was quite astounded. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Sydney drivers are so much better. Obviously, the Sydney drivers didn't get better, but I was just no longer experiencing that aggressive fight or flight response to Sydney driving anymore. And it was like that with more and more things in my life that I saw again and again and again. And so what I really want to leave you with today is this concept of not seeing stress as that thing that comes from out there into here, and just seeing stress, and it's not just because it still makes a difference, but seeing stress as your body's response. And that's so empowering because it means that just like any other response, we can train it. And that's the empowering part. When I got that, I was like, yes, I can train my body's stress response to respond differently to those demands or pressures. And at a fundamental level, the more we meditate, the more we are doing and undertaking that training, because meditation takes us into the opposite state of that fight or flight response. It takes us into the rest and digest response, which is literally, if you look at the autonomic nervous system, it's the opposite side. And it's had such an empowering effect in my life that, as I said, my nightmares left, those somatic feelings of anxiety that I used to experience left, my tension headaches completely left. I take maybe a couple of Panadol every year, if that. And this is what's on offer through the regular practice of meditation. But even if you don't regularly practice meditation, at least you can now see the different context shift that, okay, wait a minute, I can actually do something about these inputs in my life. And I don't know a better tool than meditation to do it. So that's on that. Now, by the way, if there are any questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. And if we can't get to them during the session itself, I'll answer them after the session. So it's no problem at all. And for now, I just want to share with you, before we actually start with the meditation, I want to share with you another slightly different analogy to how we can see meditation. So what we're practicing today is effortless meditation. It means it's really easy to do. There's no concentration, there's no focus, there's no pressure to get anywhere or achieve any state of bliss. It's just a really easy, effortless process. As the name suggests, effortless meditation means that it's really easy and effortless. And the way we do it is, I'm going to explain the process in terms of this little boat and anchor analogy. So as most people would probably know, the anchor of a boat is what we put down when we want the boat not to float away too far. But you'll see if you've ever watched a boat at anchor that it still drifts a little bit. It's not like we park a car, we pull the handbrake up and it stays dead straight. No, the boat swings around the anchor, it drifts and so forth. So you can think of meditation like this. We throw down the anchor point, and in this meditation, it will be either my voice or your breath. We throw down that anchor point, and then it's not the place that we need to concentrate on or stay on. Because if you've ever been on a boat, or especially enjoyed a nice summer's day on a boat, you'll know that the whole boat is not staring at the anchor, making sure that the boat doesn't drift away. No, you're out enjoying the rest of the boat, the rest of the environment. Now, that environment here represents thoughts. So we throw down the anchor, i.e. you rest your awareness nice and easily, nice and effortlessly, say on your breath or my voice, and then your mind will wander away, and it's meant to wander away. There's so much beautiful scenery and thoughts for it to go to, and it wanders away just the same way as you enjoy the day on the boat. And then the boat starts drifting away. Now, you don't necessarily realize that the boat's drifted away until such time as you feel a little tug of the anchor, almost like the rope gets taut and the boat gently kind of gets pulled back towards this anchor point. It's exactly the same in this effortless meditation style. So we close our eyes, we rest our awareness on either your breath or my voice in a nice, easy, lazy, gentle way. And then your mind wanders away, because that's what minds do. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to wander away. You're not trying to stop it from wandering, or you're not trying to turn the thoughts off or anything like that. You're just going to allow the mind to just naturally wander. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have this spontaneous realization like, oh, wow, where was I? Oh, yes, I was meditating. And at that point, you're just coming back to the anchor point, back to your breath, back to my voice in a very easy, lazy, effortless way. So it really is as simple as that to meditate effortlessly. And I'm going to guide you through this whole process, so you don't need to worry if you didn't really quite get anything that I've said, other than to know that thoughts are really normal and you're not trying to control your mind. And that when you rest your awareness on the anchor point, e.g. whatever I'm saying, that you don't do it with any force or any focus or anything like that. Just be really lazy, really effortless. So that is my super quick spiel. Now we're going to jump straight into the meditation. So getting really comfortable where you are. You might, as I would recommend that for 99.9% on people here, to have a backrest, something that your back is comfortably resting on. Whether your head's supported or unsupported is totally up to you, but you want to be really comfortable. If you're wearing glasses like me, you can feel free to take them off. And then all you need to do is very gently close your eyes whenever you're ready. Again, making sure that all your devices are turned on silent. And then with your eyes closed, the very first thing we do is just take out a little sigh or a deeper breath, if that's what you feel like doing. And then you might notice that as you've closed your eyes, some of your other senses might become heightened. So your sense of sound might be heightened, or the sense of feel. You might be feeling your body on the chair or your clothes against your skin. And that's totally fine. You're not trying to change any of your surroundings, just allowing them to be however they are, I should say. And then rather than trying to get anywhere or change anything inside of you, just gently picking up your belly breath. This is something you can use both inside and outside of the meditation. So as you breathe in through your nose, if that's comfortable for you, you should feel your belly just gently rising. And as you breathe out, you should feel your belly gently fall. Just taking some nice, easy, steady breaths, and never to the point of discomfort. It should just be a nice, easy, gentle breath in, gentle breath out. Ideally with your belly rising on the inhale, belly falling on the exhale. You're even welcome to rest a hand on your belly to feel that feedback. And as you go through the meditation, there's no need to stay in one particular posture. So if you have the urge to move, you can just move. If you have the urge to scratch an itch, you can just scratch the itch. It's not a problem at all. Right now, you're just feeling that gentle rise of the belly with each of your inhales, fall of the belly with each of your exhales. And as you do this belly breathing, you might notice that the thoughts are all there. It's no problem at all. You're not trying to push thoughts away. You're not trying to stop thoughts from arising. In fact, thoughts are really normal. Thoughts are integral during this effortless meditation. So rather than trying to push any thoughts away or stop them from arising, you're just following the simple, effortless process, which is as easy as resting your awareness on the anchor point of the meditation. The anchor point right now being your belly breath. Your mind will wander away. That's normal. At first, you might notice the thoughts as you continue to rest your awareness on that belly breath. But then eventually your mind will just completely wander away. You'll be lost in that thought stream and you won't even know it. And this is exactly what's meant to happen. And then at some other point, you'll just have that spontaneous realization that the mind had wandered away. And at that point, all you're doing is easily and effortlessly returning your awareness back to that anchor point, whether it's back to my voice or right now back to the belly breath. And then really importantly, there's no such thing as a good or a bad meditation. The only results that count, those that you experience outside of the meditation, your everyday life. So that being said, just allowing that breath to return to a normal, comfortable breath, however that looks for you. And I invite you now to scan your body with your mind, just allowing a bit of built-up tension to be released in the process of that. So allowing your forehead, your eyebrows, your jaw to gently release. You're not trying to force any release, just giving your body a permission to soften. And then however you feel is totally fine. Then allowing your shoulders to sink away from your ears. And even if they're only sinking a fraction of a millimeter, that's enough. Allowing your hands to rest nice and loose and easy. Perhaps moving up into your chest. And this time taking a deep cleansing breath into your chest, but letting it all go through your mouth. Almost allowing it to come out as a sigh or a yawn. And then allowing your belly to sink into the back of your chair. And over your next inhale, just imagining yourself gathering up any remnants of tension, this time with a full, steady breath into your belly, feeling your belly rise as you breathe in, and then letting it all go whenever you're ready on a complete and cleansing exhale, feeling your belly sinking a little deeper into the back of your chair. Allowing your awareness to continue to drift down your body over your next few breaths, just resting your awareness on your thighs and allowing your thighs to become a little bit softer and softer with each exhale. And continuing to allow your awareness to drift down the length of your legs, coming to land in your feet, the soles resting into the floor and your toes nice and loose. And then finally moving your awareness down your whole body once more, starting at your head. On your next exhale, releasing your breath all the way to your toes. And then perhaps you might feel your body a little more at ease, or perhaps you might not, and either is okay. From here, I invite you to simply rest your awareness on your breath or on any part of your breath, using that as your anchor point. So whether you're noticing your breath at the tip of your nose, or perhaps you're just noticing the rise and fall of your belly, or even some other idea or notion of your breath somewhere in your body, even just a thought about your breath inside of your mind is enough to rest your awareness on. And there's no concentration, there's no intense focus. It's just a lazy, easy, effortless awareness for your breath. You're not trying to stop the thoughts or push the thoughts away. In fact, your awareness is resting on your breath in such a lazy, effortless way that your mind is bound to wander away. That's exactly what's meant to happen. And only when you then have that spontaneous realization sometime later that your mind had been lost in the thought stream, only then are you easily and effortlessly returning back to your breath, always doing so without trying to push away any thoughts that might still be there. Not resisting anything at all, not even resisting sleep. And just allowing your awareness to gently ease off your breath or any anchor point. Just resting here for this last few moments. And this rest after the meditation is really integral to the practice. Just helps the effects of the meditation to sink in, helps the transition back into the world. Even if you think that you've had quite a shallow meditation or lots of thoughts, it's really important to just sit for a minute or two after with your eyes closed, just allowing the mind to do whatever it does. And then perhaps once you're finished with that, just starting to gently deepen your breath. Still keeping your eyes closed, but you might want to start wiggling your fingers, your toes a little. Gradually increasing its movements into anything that feels comfortable. If you need to stretch or twist, feel free to do that. Whatever you feel you need to do to come out of the meditation. And then just before opening your eyes, just asking yourself how you're feeling. Asking yourself if you're feeling a little more calm, a little more centered. Noticing how your body's feeling. Is your body feeling a little more calm, a little more relaxed? Has your breathing become a little slower, a little softer, a little more easy? Or at least was it during the meditation? And then how do you feel inside of your mind? Does your mind feel a little calmer? If not, that's not a problem at all. And if yes to any of those questions, then just taking a moment to set your intentions to carry those feelings with you for the rest of your day. There's absolutely no rush. Whenever you're ready, very slowly opening your eyes. And so that meditation, as I was saying at the end, you'll see a screen that I'm sharing with you. And by the way, if you're not ready to open your eyes, just keep them closed for as long as you need. It's no problem at all. As long as you experienced either your breathing becoming slower or softer during the meditation, or your body feeling more relaxed during the meditation, either of those two things says to me that you were meditating correctly. And you'll notice it had nothing to do with pushing thoughts away, nothing to do with having a clear mind or anything like that at all. In fact, your mind will gradually settle down, but where the mind settles down is not so much during the meditation, but it's outside of the meditation where it really counts in your everyday life. And so it doesn't matter if in the meditation you just had lots of thoughts or you even fell asleep. We don't resist anything at all during our meditation practice, especially not things like sleep. And for those that weren't sure how long that meditation was, just put a mental note of how long you thought it was without looking at the time. It was 15 or 16 minutes. So it might have felt a lot shorter for some people. So that brings us to time today. I want to really thank each and every one of you for being here today. It really says a lot about who you are as a human being, who you are for the world. And if there's anything at all that I can do to help you, I would obviously love to do that. I've included in the chat box my email address so you can get in touch with me for anything at all. If anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask, I'm going to stick around. I don't need to run off just yet. And just remember that reframing of the stress. Stress is a response, and we can train our response. And being able to train our response, well, it gave me a lot of hope and subsequently changed my life. when I was able to change, for the most part, that response. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you all soon. And if there's anyone that wants to come off mute, I'm sure we can arrange it. Just either raise your hand or type it into the chat. And otherwise, feel free to have a really awesome afternoon. You're welcome. You're welcome, Susan. Thank you so much. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks for the wave. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks for the wave. Thanks, Richard. Thanks for the wave. That was awesome. Thanks, Sarita. Thanks, Ali. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks, Mike. Amazing. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Lucille. You're most welcome. Thanks, Tanya. So good to hear. That's awesome. You're so welcome, Mike. Thanks so much for coming. Good to see you on again. Thanks, Mariana. Thanks for the, is it is a question or a hand clap or a, or maybe it's a buy. I'm not sure. Sorrel, if you are on, do you know what that is, what the hand is next to Mariana's? Okay, no worries, Rachel or Rochelle. I will give it to you again right now. There we go. It's a clap, Mariana. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks, Sarita. I'm glad you liked it. It's a really powerful reframe, especially when you then see it in action working on your life, as I did. Amazing. Thank you so much. Really glad you enjoyed it. Oh, wow. That is amazing. Never meditated before. That is incredible. I'm so glad that you got so much out of it. You're so welcome. Bernice, your hand is up. I'm guessing that you would like to be unmuted, which I can do. I think I can do at least. Let's see if that worked. I've just tried to unmute you.
Mute.
There we go. Hi, Bernice.
I did it myself. It's the easiest meditation I've ever done. I've done all kinds of meditation, transcendental, and all sorts of things. And this is really the most doable and the most easy to keep up. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback, Bernice. That is really, really awesome to hear. I'm very humbled by that.
I had a mantra and I had all sorts of things. But this
Yes.
is the most doable.
Oh, well, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Really, thank you. And congratulations on keeping it up as well. It's
I didn't
really
keep
takes
it up.
something. Well, you have the last couple of weeks.
Yes, I have. Last week and this week.
There you go.
Yeah. Looking
Yeah.
forward to next.
Perfect, perfect. We miss a week and then we're back on again because I'm away next week. But
So it's 2 weeks' time.
exactly, yes. I probably should have mentioned that to everyone. Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, but it'll be on the schedule. So
Yeah. Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. Anyone else? Would anyone else like to ask or share anything at all? You're very welcome. You can just quite easily hit the unmute and unmute yourselves now if you've got anything you'd like to say.
The analogy of the boat and the anchor is lovely.
Ah, yes, thank you. That was my wife came up with that one. Well, I mean, maybe it's come up. Someone else in the world has come up with it before, but yeah, she came up with that. It was it's a really good one. And we love being on the water, so it's our we're very happy with that. All right, amazing. Well, if no one has any other questions, and if you do, please feel free to share them. But if not, I will close the session. So feel free to share anything that you want to share. And if I don't hear from people in the next sort of 10, 20 seconds, then I will just bid you all farewell.
See you in 2 weeks.
Amazing, Bernice. Thanks so much. All right, everyone, take care. Have a really, really awesome rest of your day, and I will see you later.